Jen Hart at Jen Heartbeat. Awesome. Welcome, welcome. Of course, I'm in my car again. What a shocker. Today is day 19. Welcome again. I'm trying to get the lighting so you can at least see that I'm alive. And I'm well enough to do this. All right, day 19. This is something I work with when I do client work all the time. And it's pretty standard, but this is something that you can do in your 15 minutes with yourself. This awesome work that we're doing with my 15-minute method to change your life is that you mine the past for the good things. You're mining the past for a few different reasons. You've already had an experience. So say anybody that has had an orgasm knows what that feels like. Now, there are different types of orgasms and stuff like that. And this is not a talk just about orgasms, by the way. But this is just to give you a provocative thought process. Is that you know what that feels like. And if you don't, you need to check out Alexis Martinez, that sex chick, and a few other people on Instagram. Side note. Anyway. So you know what that feels like. You also know, you might not know what love is, perhaps, because depending on where you are on your journey, you could be a 50-year-old person and have never had real love before. But you have snippets of what that looks like. You know when you feel cared for and loved by a friend. You know what it feels like to feel seen and heard. And if you haven't, Pete Walker is somebody you should check out. So I'm giving a lot of recommendations, but this whole mining for what you desire is that you need to feel in your body, or at least in your mind, and kind of combine them, kind of marry the two, because it's not separate. We think that they're very separate experiences, but by tying the feeling of love or abundance or money or just laughing, like if you remember a time when you were super happy, and super happy could have been like for 5 minutes, or could have been an hour, or could have been with your favorite person. It could have been on a text message. You don't know. You do know because you're mining for it. But so you're pick a theme or pick something that you want to change. So if you want to feel more love, in order for me to heal back in 2013, and the thing that basically saved my life is that I had to mine my experience in the present. So I was looking for love, and not romantic love. It was like just to be seen, to know my own worth and value and be loved by source, creator, what have you. And I didn't feel loved. I was in a very distorted mind space, considering if you live that way for 30 plus years, you might be feeling that. So, and there's no shame in that. Wherever you are is where you are, and you get to change that, because I did. And that was so pivotal. It was February of 2013, and I'll never forget it, because I knew the one person that completely loved me, and I didn't have to do anything for his love. It was my nephew, and he was about one at the time. And I know what love is from him, and it's still very similar, although he's much older now. He's like 8 or 9. 9. Oh God, he's getting old, which is good, because that means we all are. So the experience for me was, okay, who do I unequivocally 100% know loves me? And it's not necessarily because he talked, because he didn't talk. It's not because of anything other than me. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't earn the love like a lot of people pleasers or overgivers, or anybody that's grew up in a dysfunctional family dynamic, is that you usually had to earn love. And that love was piecemealed out to you in segments, or if at all. So this process of seeing that my nephew would light up when I was around him. I didn't have to give him any toys. He just knew he loved me, which blew my mind, and it healed me. And I'm using that as an example because you have so many experiences in your life, whether it's somebody through, like with friends. Like I know when my friend cares about me via my, when I talk to them, whether it's via text or phone. Like I don't need And obviously I've done a lot of work around this, and maybe that is an area where you're looking for. So when have you felt loved? And really, where have you loved yourself? Like, when did you stand up for yourself? When did you give your own self-respect? Like, at least in work. Oh my God. It's obviously I need something to drink because this is like owning my own value in my former career as a graphic production artist, what have you, is that I had to say, like, I've told the story to other people before, but this is like to help you. In case you're in a work scenario or any type of place where you feel like undervalued or underappreciated. So I was making about $25 an hour. No, I was making $25 an hour doing like graphic design work, and the company itself made probably about 75. So trade secret in most graphic design production companies, perhaps, not companies, but like freelance places. So they help you find a job typically because they have a roster of clients, and the reason why they get a cut is because they pay partial taxes, and they did the sale, they made the contact from, like, say, whatever company that they're hiring you or me out to. So the company that I was on site for said that they were having financial issues and wanted to reduce my pay rate. So my experience at that point had at least 10 years of experience in the field. And it's not like my work performance was bad. It was no fault in that area of my own. It's just they wanted to save money. They wanted to save money in part because they were paying probably the company that hired, the freelance company, probably $75 to $100 per my $25. Now, mind you, they get a portion of that as profit, and then also they have to pay the 7.5% tax for at least that state's taxes. So it's still, they're making a nice chunk of change. And instead of the company that the freelance company that I was working for, instead of them taking the cut, they asked me to do it. So they said, could you reduce your hourly rate? And I had to sit with it. And this is a sales rep or, a account manager. And I understand that's their job, so I didn't make it personal. But it was personal to me in the sense that, wait, I have to lower my value because somebody else wants to make money. And that was a pretty big self-love, self-care act for multiple reasons. It was like I knew, like, my value and experience on what I was doing. It's still quite low to get paid $25 an hour for that particular part of the industry. But I like the work. It was close to where I lived. I lived literally like a 2-mile or 4-mile like drive commute. So it had so many benefits. I was willing to take it. And the freelance company is like, can you reduce your hourly rate? And they use the thing as that the company wanted to save money. I'm thinking to myself, so why aren't you, like, it took me a while. I had to sit with it because I didn't understand why. I made it personal initially. I made it personal because I'm like, wait, why am I being devalued right now? It's so funny. You don't really realize the pivotal moments in your life that you make choices on your own behalf that literally shift course for you. And this decision, after I sat with her, I said, I need a few hours to think about it, or 24 hours or something like that. And she called me back or whatnot. And I said, no, if the company is having issues, I can always reduce my days. Instead of 5 days, I can do 4 days. Maybe that will help them. And then she kind of mulled it over, I guess, with her boss or whatever. And they're like, no, we'll keep you at the same $25 rate. And they wanted me to go down to 20 or 22 or something like that. Which, considering to a major company, that doesn't, it was probably enough to hurt them, because I think this is all business details. It doesn't really matter. But it's like, the whole point is that they were willing to shaft me until I said no. So this is a good way to show your standards. And I was willing, I had to really mull this over because I didn't have a backup financially. But I was like, I know my worth. They're fucking with me. And I say this because you have to know your worth. And these are the moments in life when you decide that that person doesn't care about me. That job or employer doesn't care about me. Now, they might partially care. You're like, it's not all or nothing, but it really, you have to be strategic in your own life to be, and this is not like just a dog-eat-dog world. I really do believe if you believe good things can happen, good things happen. I absolutely, if you have a positive mindset, more positive things happen. There's a science behind that. It's quantum physics. There's so much to that. But that doesn't mean things aren't at play when people are doing their own agenda. So it was funny. I started this day 19 around talking about mining your past for things that are helpful to feel into the present of what you want. And sometimes it's the present moment, and sometimes you have to go backwards, because we've had a lot of, if you've been around the earth for more than 20 years, you actually have lived enough life to have some feels about things. You might have some good things that have happened to you. And the whole point of day 19 is to, if you're looking for a feeling, you've probably already experienced it. And if, like, say, abundance, you've been abundant in other ways. Even if you don't have financial abundance, you've been abundant in probably other areas of your life. And if you want to know, if you want to dig deeper into finding all these mining gold, platinum things of your life, so you can build upon them. Because once you build upon the self-respect, like I did with that situation work-wise, and then when I realized how much love I did have, once I noticed that my nephew loved me at a 1-year-old, like, it was so mind-blowing. It's almost childish the way, but that's where my mind was so not right with who or what I was thinking about myself, is that I needed that simple knowing that this kid loved me. And that changed my life forever. Forever. And that means you can too. So, and it doesn't have to mean romantic love. I mean, romantic love is really good, but you have to love yourself first. And then do all the other things. And it's not all or nothing. It's not all linear. It's a process. It's life. It's changing your life is fun. Changing your life is fun sometimes. It's also uncomfortable. It's also like, whoa. So there's a lot. But I would never have it any other way. Because without those experiences, I would never have mined that for this conversation, and hopefully helping you to see you have love, you have resources, you have abundance, you may have laughter, and if you don't have them in the present moment for wherever you are, in your relationship or your job or your life or your health or your body, it doesn't mean you can't get it back. Because once you've had something, it may not be directly from that thing, because I'm definitely not in the graphic design field. It's the least thing that I ever want to do. But I can still mine that self-respect I have and know my financial value in terms of, even in my last job, like, I knew my worth was so much more than what I was getting financially paid. And I mined that job for as long as I could until it was not in a balance energetically. And financially, it was never I could never support myself in that job. I mean, it was social work, so it's sad that that is not a industry that pays well. But that's the thing. I learned so much, and I mined that work and those clients, and I was so grateful for all the experiences that I had in that position, because it made me a better coach. It made me better boundaries. It gave me so much insight, more insight than I had working with individuals with mental health issues and working with individuals who had limited mindsets and being able to shift them. And that's what I do now. So I'm like, it will benefit me even if I'm not in that scenario. It's like being married and getting divorced. People who are divorced and they get married again have better, typically, if they do their own personal work and like work on themselves, is that they have better marriages the second time